to the last class of the beginner's model. And in this session, in this last module, we would be talking about how you are going to find your way around TradingView. When you log in, when you click on, so what I need you to do is go to www.tradingview.com. And like I said earlier in the previous video, that I personally do my analysis, my trade analysis on TradingView. So when you come to TradingView for the first time, this is exactly how it looks. The all you need to do is just for you to to sign up or sign in. You can easily sign in using your email. So I'm going to do that almost immediately. So I click on my email and immediately signs me in. It's almost a very seamless process, and it brings you here, and it loads up and give you different kind of different kind of instruments. You have stocks and the likes, and you want to these are Apple stocks and stuff like that. But depending on what you want to do, some people want some people trade stocks, some people forex, some people commodities, and even some people even trade cryptocurrency. Whichever one you want to do, you will find them, a lot of them, on TradingView. A lot of people around, millions of people around the world use TradingView, and I strongly just recommend it to you. If you, I'm not doing any, this is no ads, just from my personal experience. I think it really does work well, so it's really good. All right, so moving forward, what you want to do, that you get to have a watch list. So because we're talking in regards to forex, foreign exchange, then I can just, first of all, I can clear the list. That's the first thing I can do. I clear the list. I make sure everything is blank, so I got nothing here. You can see. I can even delete this guy. So make sure nothing, there's nothing to bother me. Bring this guy very low. Then the first thing I need to do is that I can begin to add different currency pairs I want to trade with. So I'm going to click on this plus sign up at the top here. So once I click on it, and it brings me this. So since we're trading forex, you just click on forex, and you can begin your search. So I'm giving different currency pairs. So the first one I have is Euro USD. Okay, so once I do that, I just click on this. I click to the middle. Now, once I click it, if I close this, you see on this side, can you see Euro USD? You can make it, you can drag it out a bit to make it a bit elaborate, so you can see, depending on what you want to do. Okay, so this is my Euro USD. Or I could even make it smaller anyway. So regardless, I know this is my Euro USD. Are we together? So I can, from there I can keep adding more and more and more. So for example, okay, so for example, I could also add once I if I could just keep on adding. Let's say this time around GBP USD, that's the Great Britain pound. I add it. You can see it's showing here, right here. If you can, let me move this guy. Let me move this a bit if it's going to allow me. This GBP here, so I have Euro USD, I have USD card. You can see as I'm adding, it's increasing here. You can see it's increasing. Okay, Euro JPY, you can see that they're all adding up here. You have NZD, USD chef, or adding up. Just keep adding AUD JPY, GBP, BBP card, that's Great Britain pound, then Euro GBP, and the list goes. So you can, if there's anyone you cannot find, you can always, or even if it's gold like XAUUSD, you find it, there's gonna bring it out. Okay, on gold you have to go to should I say, okay, let's go. If you go to all, it's going to bring gold. You can just add it up to it, and the list. If you look at to your far right, you can see different currency pairs depending on how you choose. And the sweet thing is now this. Remember, in one of our videos, I spoke about different market sessions. So you can also design your watch list in a way that you create them into sessions. So what do I need to create a session? So I could just right click here. I could right click on anything I want and add session. Can you see what I'm doing? So I can decide to bring my session below. So for example, let's say I can even edit my session. So I can say London session, London, London session. So I want to talk about, so I'm going to do this. So what are the currency pairs I have in London session? Of course, I'm going to have the Euro USD. I can just bring it down here. Can you see that London session? I have the, of course, the GBP card. Of course, I bring it down here. I have Euro GBP. Of course, I bring it down here. I have USD Chef. Okay, again, I bring it down here. I have, okay, Euro JPY too. Yeah, that's part of it. I have GBP USD. I bring it here. Okay, I think that suffices. Then I could go further down. Let me create another session. I'll drag it down. I can see this is what is my New York session. New York session. Okay, so enter. So in my New York section, I have currency pairs like this guy here, this, and of course you use the gold to trade gold, and I can keep adding them like that. So that's how you bring in your currency pair, so you can fill up your watch list according to how you want it, to your choice, and remove from there. So anytime you want to click, so once you've done adding, just click on any one of them and it will take you to the live chat. Okay, we're going to take you. Okay, so let's go. So look at where it's bringing it. So it's going to show this. Just click here on see on super chat. Once you click on super chat, then you are good to go. It's going to bring you right up to the chat. You can see it's loading, and this is where you get to do it. And you can still see your watch list right about here. Personally, I do not like the white mode, so I like it dark. So I move my cursor here and I click on this guy. I scroll down here and I click on dark mode. I love the dark mode. I don't know why, but it's just so nice. It's so cool for me. And this gives me this. I'm ready to go. I am good to go. All right. So you can continue adding up different kind of currency pairs or instruments depending on what you trade, what you want to trade. It is all your choice. Now, the second thing I want to talk about here is let me walk you around the interface and some of the tools that have been used. So let's say, for example, you want to bring in an indicator. So just come to this point here, click on indicator, and one of my favorite indicator that I get to use sometimes the MACD. So not just the MACD, I use the MACD 4C. MACD 4C. So this is it. So it's giving me different options. So if I click on this, it's going to bring it down, and that's all. You can see if I look below here, this is my MACD 4C showing live and direct here. So and if I want to delete it, I click on this. Okay, I can also decide to move it up. Maybe you like it up, it's there, but I personally do not like it up. I prefer my indicators down. So any indicator you want to use, irrespective, Ichimoku, Bollinger Band, MACD, RSI, whatever, either it's an oscillator, B Williams, name it, anything at all you want to use in your analysis, you can always bring it in the indicator. All right, so I'm going to move forward. I'm going to take this indicator out, so just you can always take it out as it well. Now, as you begin to analyze now, let me talk about this. Of course, depending what you want to see, some people prefer their charts to be in candlestick, or some say no, I don't like candlesticks, I prefer them to be line charts. And just in case you're more interested in using other forms, other representative forms, you can choose it, but I strongly advise stay with whatever you've been trained to work with. So personally, I use candlesticks, and sometimes I use the line chart just to verify. So if you find out any indicator you like, or any of this, you can decide to click on the yellow button, excuse me, please. And once I click on this yellow, you can see it's adding up to it. But I only use these two, so they are my favorite. The yellow star means I want to make them my favorite. So only both of them are going to show up here. And without much ado, of course, this section is talking about time. This is monthly, weekly, daily, 4 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour, 30 minutes. These are the time frame I personally get to use, and you can add more. Just click down here and you'll be able to see. You can see I already my favorite timelines are ticked with the yellow star, and the ones that I don't usually do not use are not ticked. And if I tick them, you will find it. And on the free version of TradingView, the best you can go is 1 month. If you're going to go to 3 months, 6 months downward, you are going to need to have a paid subscription. But for start, you really do not need what you really do not need the paid version. However, if you want it, why not? Why please you can get it. Now, going forward, I want to talk about this part of it. Now, if you click on this page, the same thing you did here when you are trying to look for a particular currency pair or commodity or two you want to trade, you can look for it here. So once I click here, it gives me this pop down here. So I can type any currency pair, any one of it. So maybe for example, I want to do the USD to the Mexican peso. Can you see it's here? So I can right click. Can you see if I once I click on it, it's going to add me straight up. As you can see, it has opened it up. So however, when you click here, you will not be added to a watch list. It will only open the chart. However, if you right click and you can see add MXN to watch list. So if I click on watch list, it will add it to any of this watch list that I have created. All right, going forward, I like to. This is one of my favorite tools. This is one of my favorite tools, and I'm going to talk about every single one of them, depending on the ones I get to use. So, if you come here, so sometimes these are different kind of pointers. You have the crosshair, you have the dot, you have the arrow, depending on whichever you want. I personally use the crosshair and of course the arrow. Now I love the crosshair, you can see, because sometimes I necessarily do not, once as I'm moving it, I can tell where prices are for on my right hand side there. So I necessarily do not have to, like, for example, let me show you the difference. I'm going to use what is it called, an arrow. You can see an arrow is showing me the price, but the precision I cannot see the precision of the point. But look at the cross, what the cross does. The cross makes it easy. I can see the exact point. I can see it very, very clearly, and I love the crosshair. So it's used to move around. Maybe you want to select something, you want to move around on a particular part or place on the chart, you can just easily move it. You can, why you just want to see the price of that point, what price is saying at that level, and anyhow you want it. It's very beautiful. Now the next one, of course, is this tool, the trend line. So you are here, you have different kind of line. There are basically two important lines I personally get to use. I use the trend line, and I use the horizontal ray. The horizontal ray, I use it to mark my zones, and of course the what is it called, the trend line, I used to draw a trend. So how do you use it? So let me click on the trend line. You click on trend line. So in forex trading, you can have an uptrend and you can have a downtrend. So example, what I have here is an uptrend. So I'm going to use the trend line to draw it. So just start from where you are and extend it out to the place of your choice. And once you're done, the trend line is drawn. You can edit it, you can make it thicker. Just click on it, click on the trend line you just drew, and come here. So you can edit the thickness. If you click on here, you can even make it a bit what I always advise, use the thin use the what should I say, the least thickness is really good. I love that personally. And just in case you don't want it any longer, you can always delete it at this point here. So that is that about the trend line. However, the horizontal rule, which is my second favorite, which is I use it to mark my demand and supply zones. So, for example, for those of us who understand what I mean by demand and supply zones, for example, if I want to mark, for example, my rally base drop. For example, I have this rally based and the drop, I usually recommend I use this. I use my horizontal ray. Like I said, I love it very well. If the tick up, I always prefer my thickness to be one line, not to tick, for precision in calculation. So there are mistakes, and also this is how I love it. So the reason why I love to use the horizontal ray and I don't compared to the other one is that it moves from the initial point to your right, so you don't have to compare to. Let me show you what the horizontal line do. Look at this, it just cuts across sometimes. So look at it, so long. So however, the horizontal ray gives you some good level of precision, and you can use it to draw your line, and it can help you see, oh, when price is actually returning to that particular zone you have marked. All right, that's my two favorite here. There are still other lines here, but sincerely, I do not use any of these ones. So of course, if this is for your different patterns, your Elliott waves and different your Gartley, the shark pattern and stuffs like that. I don't trade them. I don't trade waves. I'm a price action trader. I trade the institutional trading concept. And of course that takes me down here. This is where you have your there are different tools here. You have I love this. This is used to calculate your risk to your reward. So, for example, if I want to, okay, let me give you a practical example here. So, let's say I remove all drawings and I want to like, okay, I want to take this trade. I'm expecting that, oh, when price comes here, I'm gonna be making some money trading. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring the this tool. We have two of them here. You have the long. The long is for a buy position. So I want to do this. I'm going to do this. Okay. If price comes here, it's telling me what is my risk to my reward. Oh, I want my risk to be, let's see how many pips. It's telling me, oh, now I have about my risk is apparently my risk compared to my reward is going to tell me the, so let me just drag this a bit. Okay, good. So it's telling me my risk to reward is what. If I click on it, excuse me please, it's showing me my risk to the reward is roughly about what, about 59 points 59 596.4. Amazing risk reward, and this is in percentage, good game. So but however, it will also tell you the pips in terms of here. So here we're roughly having about excuse me, about 75 pips compared to what you have here. The 75 pips compared to 2600 and 81. So you use it for long, and so for example, if you take this out again, you can also use it in case of you want to short the market, you want to go short, so you do this. So if you draw it top to bottom, so it's going to show you, so you can use it to calculate, your risks to your reward. They are very important part of your trading. I usually get to advise traders to not make the mistake of not knowing your risk to your reward. So this is what we have here. So you can use the red part is your exposure. So let's say for example I want to use this guy. Let's say this is my entry, this is my stop loss. For example, I'm going to put a bit above here, and my target is down here below, far way below. So it's telling me, okay, if this is where I want so this is my risk to my reward. Risk to reward is showing me, oh, that my risk to my reward is what, is 1:2. Can you see that? 1:2 risk to reward, 2.6. So excuse me, you can easily set it. There you go. All right, that takes me to the next two here. In this place, these are my two favorite. So I mark them what? I mark them yellow. Every other one, I don't use it. And of course I go here, I come here. Now my rectangle, so in places where I personally do not want to use the horizontal. What do I mean by horizontal? I'm talking about this line here that I said I use it to mark my supply and demand zone. So in places where I do not want to use the horizontal ray, I get to use the what is it called, the rectangle, excuse me, instead. So let me show you how I get to do it. So I just do this. So I mark this, for example, and I spread out. Can you see? Price left, came back in. So I use it more often. So most times, if I'm even going to be very affirmative, I use it more. All right. So Of course, any tool you want, from your, what is it called, circles, eclipse, ellipse rather, whatever you have here, you can choose anyone. I'm only been doing this based on the explanation of the things I get to use on a day-to-day basis. Then that takes me to, of course, you want to put a text, you to come here. You want to put, should I say, an emoji, of course you can put it here. Now, this is one of my favorite too, and in module one, when we talked about PEEP, percentage in points, so this is the tool where you get to use that you use to measure your PEEP value. So if I want to know what is the distance from this top to this bottom, this top to this bottom, all I need to do is click on this ruler, take it to the top here, click and drag it down. Okay, so look at, from here to, from top to bottom here, is telling me this is literally about 2,823 pips. Can you see that? 2,823 pips. For real, man. 2,000. And if I want to know from this very top here, this very top here to the bottom here, she's telling me this is what, this is about 4,294 pips. So you use this to measure, either you're measuring up or down. You find out, you can do the same. It's going to show it to you regardless of anything. You can see 3,000 pips, 3,008 pips, and so on. So you use this tool to measure your pips. Now, for example, if there's a portion of the chart where you need a bit more clarity, you need it more clearer, you can click on the magnifier here, take it to the point you want to use, press down and drag it over that point. Can you see it makes it way bigger? And when you're done, of course, you can click on Ctrl Z, it returns it back to the normal. All right, so every other tool below here, I personally do not use them. So that's about that. So I've been able to run you through a bit of explanation. Okay, so let me add one more to. So let's say, for example, this is one of my favorite tools. I get the alert. For the free version, you can use about three or four there about. But if you're going to have much more than, if you're going to use more than five, 4 to 5 alert, you're going to need to pay for for a premium version. All right, so let me explain what you use. So let's say, for example, you're a busy person, you're going to work, and you do not have the time to babysit a trade, which most times most people don't, because we have a life of our own. So let's say, for example, I say I expect price to return to this very order block here, and when it returns, I'm going to love to take the trade. However, I'm busy, I'm at my place of work, and I do not really have the time, so I can use this alert. Now this alert is that is what, now all I need to do is, I would, once I click on the alert, it's going to ask me, where do I need to get an alert. I want the alert to come in when price returns to this, what, to this zone. So I'm just gonna take my cross line and put it at the bottom here, and say this is 16.66841, 16.6. So I'm just gonna bring it here and type it 16.66841. And all I need to do is click on create. Can you see? Can you see this point here? Can you see? That's correct. Let me put it on. Look at it. See, can you see? 16.66841. So even if I'm at my place of work, as long as I have my phone with me and my email is linked to my phone, once price returns into this very zone, I will get an email notification on my mail telling me price has crossed the point I marked. Then I can go forward and pick up my what, and pick up my trade and do whatever I need to do. All right, this is the last one I'm going to tell you. This is your replay. So, for example, if you're an educator, a teacher like me, you will need, for example, if you need to explain something to people, you might need to employ the X to the replay. And so, for example, if I look at it, once I click on replay, if I it's asking me where do I want, so if I want to replay what has happened, I just want to show it to you, like, okay, I want to replay, like, all this is all that has happened, but I want to hide what has happened before. Then from here, then I play it to you. Now look at me, watch me, guys. So can you see the moment Oh, okay. You can see the moment I this package actually works for what is it called? For a paid version. So if you want it, you can just click on it. I personally don't always use it on this very account. I use it on the other one. So that's why you have it here. So you can click on this is usually used by teachers or educators who get to explain quite a lot to their students, and that is that about should what would I say, trading view. If you need anything, let me add this, so you can click here, you can click on candlestick, or you can click on line chart, whichever one you want. And just in case you load up the chart and it's looking a bit not really, it's not really looking really good, and it looks like a bit bogus, or the alignment is kind of pretty wrong, you can just right click and click on reset. It will give you a proper look. Now sometimes you might want to drag the chart to your place of choice, and you can see I want to drag it down, it's not coming down. I want to drag it up, it's just moving left and right. If I want to drag it up, all I need to do is I come to the right here and just drag it a little bit here, just drag it down a little bit. The moment I do that, it gives me permission, and look at what happens. So here I can move it anywhere and any place I want it to go. So anytime you're trying to move it up or down and you're having a blockage, just come to the right hand side, press down your mouse, just shrink it up a little bit, then come back here, and you'll find that you are able to move it as you please and wherever you want it to be. All right, so thank you so very much. This is where I draw the cap on the last module of the beginners class. If you have any questions, please do well to let me know, and please do subscribe and for my next coming video. All right, till I see you again. My name is Femi Adebusi. Thank you so much.